Okay, I did not want to have to film this video, but here I am. If you're following me on Instagram, you probably know already what happened. So my MacBook has been showing a weird backlight at the lower part of the screen for a couple of weeks now, and I didn't think it was something serious that has to be repaired. But one very kind follower commented under a post where it was very visible that this is a serious issue. So that is why I decided to have it repaired right now. It is a pain in the ass for me being a student in Zoom University, having to depend on my MacBook every single day. So basically in this video, I'm going to document my 10-day, 2 weeks journey of only using my iPad for school for literally everything that I do. I have done some literature research on my iPad yesterday already, and that was no big problem. And I have decided to take my notes about the literature in the Notion app, which I can also fully put to use on the iPad. I have already mentioned in the last video that I don't like the Smart Keyboard Folio for typing very long text, as it just feels, it doesn't feel very natural to me to type on it as compared to a MacBook keyboard, but for now this has to do, and it does definitely work. I think it's just something you have to get used to. That's what I'm going to be doing for the rest of the afternoon, just reading through that literature, taking some important notes. The one really good thing is that I still have my big screen, and of course I can also connect that screen to my iPad via an HDMI cable. So what I can do is I can go into split screen mode, and then I can have both documents side by side, but still have the benefits of having a bigger screen. I'm very happy that Notion works really well on the iPad. So if you don't know what Notion is or what you can do with the app, I highly recommend watching my Notion tour video that I have linked in one of these corners. And by now, I must really admit that I've gotten used to the keyboard a little bit better. Like, it doesn't feel as weird as it used to feel when I was really used to the MacBook keyboard. I also connected my Logitech mouse to my iPad. It does definitely feel a lot more like a computer. Hey everyone, so it is Saturday, day 5 with my iPad only. I just tried to import the footage that I filmed on Friday and yesterday to my external hard drive, and I realized that this is actually, well, it's not a problem, but it's something I'm glad my MacBook has several Thunderbolt hubs, because the iPad obviously just has one. Okay, so I must admit that at this point I have been contemplating buying the Magic Keyboard. I initially wanted to buy it when it came out, but I haven't done so until today because I always thought, I have the Smart Keyboard Folio and I have my MacBook. I really do not type so much on the iPad. I'm thinking really hard about it, but then again, I'll have my MacBook back in 10 days from now. But let me check how much the keyboard is with student discount. I'm just really curious. Okay, so let's see. Apple education discount. 374 euros. Wow, that's a lot. Let me contemplate about this a little more, and I'll give you guys an update once I have decided if I'm going to go for it or not. Hey guys, so today is Tuesday, which means it's been a week without my MacBook now, and I haven't gotten an email from them or anything, but I didn't expect to hear back from them so early, so I'm praying to get it back by the end of this week, but honestly I think it's more realistic to plan with getting it back beginning of next week. I really hope, because this week was Pentecost, so we didn't have any classes yesterday and today, but next week we have classes again, so I definitely need my MacBook back. And then a little update on my plan to buy the Magic Keyboard. So I've thought about it for a couple days now, and I have for now decided not to buy it. First of all, I don't think it makes any sense. I'll be getting my MacBook back in a matter of days, I hope, and I know that once I have my MacBook back, I will be mainly using my MacBook to type notes and stuff like I did before. I wouldn't make full use of the Magic Keyboard. I've watched a bunch of YouTube reviews on the Magic Keyboard, and two things that I find kind of annoying are, first of all, it's about 300 grams heavier than the Smart Keyboard Folio, which doesn't sound like much, but I think once you put it on the iPad, it's almost the weight of a 13-inch laptop. Given that I usually bring both my iPad and MacBook to class, I want to save weight, and so if I have a MacBook, I don't need a Magic Keyboard on an iPad. And then the second thing that bothers me a little bit is that you can't fold the Magic Keyboard backwards like you can with the Smart Keyboard Folio. So whenever I'm using the iPad as a tablet, I just put the keyboard to the back and it works just fine. Whereas with the Magic Keyboard, apparently you have to take the iPad out of the keyboard or of the case, which is in itself an easy thing to do, but then the iPad is not protected and I don't want that. So I am not going to buy it now. Maybe I decide to buy it later, but right now it doesn't make any sense for me, even though I would have gotten it for free because of that massive bonus points that my mom and I have collected, but still. Hi everybody, it's Thursday and I just got the call that they are finished with my MacBook. I can pick it up. Alright, so I literally just got back. My MacBook is in great shape. It looks as good as new. It has got a new display and the problem with the backstage lighting effect is gone. My anti-blue light blocking screen protector obviously did not survive it. They gave it back to me, as well as my keyboard protection. I haven't checked those out, but since I sticked both of them on the screen and the keyboard respectively, I don't think I can use them anymore, which is not as much of a problem. Before I end this video, I want to sum up some things that I have noticed now over the past 10 days using only my iPad Pro, especially in times of online school where I was really dependent on having a functioning device. So overall, I'm completely sticking to what I said in my latest video about the Apple products that I use in college, where I said that I personally could not live with just an iPad completely without a laptop. I realized there are two main reasons why I definitely need a proper laptop. Number one being, in my study program, I have to write tons of research papers and I write all my notes in Microsoft Word just because I grew up using it, and my university licenses Microsoft programs for their students, but only for one device. So I could not edit any Word document, PowerPoint, Excel sheet or whatever that I started on my MacBook. I could not edit them on my iPad and vice versa. And then the second program that I was dearly missing was, of course, Premiere Pro. Some Adobe apps or programs are available on the iPad, such as Photoshop and Lightroom, but Premiere Pro is not, and so I did not have any chance to edit any video. Another claim that I made in my other video about my Apple products was that if I had to go with my iPad only, I would buy the Magic Keyboard instead of the Smart Keyboard Folio, and that has proven true over the past couple days. I did even contemplate buying the Magic Keyboard, but then decided against it because I probably would have gotten the Magic Keyboard like yesterday and I got my MacBook back today. So that would really not have made any sense. But even though I started getting used to the Smart Keyboard as a normal typing keyboard, I definitely prefer the proper deeper keys of the MacBook, and I watched some YouTube reviews that showed that the Magic Keyboard is really pretty similar to a MacBook keyboard. Plus it has the trackpad. So what I did, I connected my Logitech mouse, but I noticed that sometimes it just didn't work. Like I would scroll and the cursor wouldn't respond. If you're planning to buy an iPad only for school, then definitely go with the Magic Keyboard. Another thing that I noticed that applies specifically to Zoom is when you are in a Zoom call on your iPad and you leave the app to, I don't know, look up something on Google or whatever, your camera turns off. That leads to the next problem. You basically cannot use your iPad for, let's say, highlighting text or annotating lecture slides while simultaneously being on a Zoom call, as long as you have your camera turned on. So that doesn't work, or maybe there is some way to make it work, but then obviously if you were writing, people would see your chin. So that is problematic if you were an all digital note taker. So long story short, to sum it all up, I stick to what I said in my other video. I would not want to go without a MacBook. I love having both the devices because they complement each other really well, and because thanks to having both, I can go fully digital, being on a Zoom call while taking notes on the iPad at the same time. So since this video wasn't planned and wasn't scripted at all, it was a little bit chaotic, which I want to apologize for. I still hope that it was helpful to you. Again, if you're looking for a device for school and aren't sure which to buy, this might be a little, first-hand experience of how working with an iPad only might look like. So if you enjoyed this video, if it was helpful for you, I would love if you gave it a like, and if you commented your plans of buying either device or your experiences with either device. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already for more study tips and college life. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.